Hey guys, this is going to be my labor and delivery story. Um, I delivered her on December the 4th at 1:19 a.m. and sorry. And she was 8 pounds and 1 ounce. 19 no 20 inches long. And I'm sorry, she just decided to want to eat and wake up as soon as I decided to make the video. I have everything written down though. She was 8 pounds 1 ounce. But yeah, it basically started on December the 3rd. Let's say December the 3rd. No, actually Sunday. Yeah, so I had tried everything, the ball, walking, everything. So and I was at my mom's house, and then that's when I started reading that like once you get relaxed, your body will just go into natural labor. But as long as you like stressed out or like have a lot of tension in your body, that basically your body is going to refuse labor. So I was at my mom's house, and I have a little brother that's 12, a baby sister that's 2, and a little sister that's 6. And then my mom and her husband, and me and my husband was like sleeping on a couch, and well, she got like reclining couches or whatever, but we was just like real uncomfortable. So we had decided to go down the street to his mom's house, and just wait, wait for labor because it was still close to my mom and she could take us to the hospital. So December the 2nd, that Sunday, I believe it was Sunday, I slept all day. No, December the 1st, I think it was. I slept all day. I know the first day that I went there, I slept all day. I just slept and slept and slept and slept and slept. And it just felt so good. Like, I only was woke up to eat. Like, my husband only woke me up to eat. So, yeah, that was the second. He woke me up to eat waffles, no pancakes, and then he woke me up to eat. I woke up and I got in the shower and we had pizza. And then, so yeah, we did it basically. And then around, this was late, maybe around 10ish, or it might have been later than that, but my contractions didn't start around till 3:30, and it woke me up out of my sleep. So normally contractions like wake me up out of my sleep, but they won't be so bad. Like, I just kept trying to like turn over, and because they were saying like if you could sleep through it, then it's not real. So I was like trying to change positions and stuff, and um nothing worked. And I got up and went to the bathroom, and I felt like I had to poop, but I was scared to poop because I thought I was going to have the baby. So I went and laid back down, and then around 4, like it was exactly 4:07. I remember looking at, well, it was 4, and I sat up on the side of the bed, and my husband say like, "What's wrong?" So I was like, "I think I'm having contractions," and so he was like, "Just start timing them." So I started timing them at 4:07, and yeah, they was 30 seconds to a minute long every 2 to 3 minutes. So yeah, they was coming, and I felt like that was kind of not consistent, I guess, because sometimes it'd be like 37 seconds, and sometimes it'd be like a minute and 7 seconds, like long, and but they was always 2 to 3 minutes apart, even once I got to the hospital. So I started calling my mom around 5 o'clock because I was like, I just want to go to the hospital because I'm overdue, and yeah, if I'm having contractions, this would be a good time to like just to go ahead and get the pitocin or whatever. So I started calling my mom around 5, and nobody was answering the phone. So like we started panicking. Both of us started crying. Well, he said he wasn't crying, but he was crying, and So I was like going through it, and then he called the doctor, and well, he called labor and delivery actually because it was the weekend, so I knew that my doctor wouldn't answer the phone. So he called labor and delivery, and then he was like, "What am I supposed to say?" And he was like, "Well, um, no, actually before that, we have this book. I can't reach it while I'm nursing her, but it's like a book that we got from the birthing class, and he was like going through the book trying to see if this was real labor, and he was like reading all the symptoms, and he was like, "Babe, is your mouth dry or something?" I guess that's one of the symptoms, and I was like, "I don't know, just call somebody." So then he called the doctor, and the doctor was like, no, he was like, "Are you in active labor?" And I was like, "I don't know," and he was like, "Is your mouth dry?" And I'm like, "I don't know, just call somebody." Like he was just reading the book, like trying to figure stuff out. So he called the doctor, and the doctor, he's like, "Well, what am I supposed to say?" And I was like, "I don't know, like just say something, like ask them, I don't know." So he was like, "I think my wife is in labor and I don't know what to do." And she was like, "Well, did y'all time the contractions?" And he was like, "Well, they like 2 to 3 minutes apart." And then so she asked to speak to me, so he got agitated. So this was like in between contractions, and I answered, I got on the phone, and she was like asking me my name and stuff, and I was telling her, and then like soon as she got to, I don't know what question she asked me, but another contraction hit, and I was just like, oh, like I just cannot talk to her, and I like just threw the phone. And so he got back on the phone, and I heard her tell him like just tell her to come in. So he started calling my mom again, and he called my sister, and my sister answered the phone, but she was all the way over here by our house, but she was on her way. So I went ahead and um like he started getting everything together, and I was just sitting on the side of the bed, and I'm like trying to wait for a contraction to like go away so I could help him. Like I just always want to help out stuff or whatever. And so then my mom, then he was in the living room, and I'm like, "Who you talking to?" He like, "I'm talking to your mom." So then I knew she was coming, but she beat my sister in. So we get to the hospital, and 3 centimeters and -2 station. So um so around, I guess 9. No, they actually set up for the epidural at around 8 o'clock or 7:54. And I got to the hospital maybe around 5:30, 6 o'clock. So by 8 o'clock I wanted the epidural because, well, I didn't want it. I thought I could stand through it, but my mom was like, "There's no point in waiting." And one of the other doctors from my clinic was there, and she was like, "It's no point in waiting because by the time you wait, you won't be able to sit through the contractions to actually get the epidural and everything." So I was like, "Okay, I'll just go ahead and get it." So they started setting up for the epidural around 7:54. Um, it finally kicked into the IV at 8:47. They was doing my epidural for 30 minutes. Like I was beyond pissed. So before I thought I was just sitting there, like I thought maybe it was just me that thought I was sitting there long. But then the nurse was like reminding them of the time, and she was like, y'all on 30 minutes." So I was like, "I've been sitting here for 30 minutes trying to get this epidural." So I knew he had the right spot the first time when he pushed it, because I can feel like the pressure point, but he moved up for some reason, and then so he did it when he moved back down. Once he realized that he wasn't in the right spot, he moved down, and he did it in the same pressure point where I felt at the first time. So the epidural got into the IV at approximately 8:47. Um, yeah, so before that, my mom was like, I was telling the nurse to shut up, because then one of the nurses kept saying, like, I couldn't understand what she was saying. She was like from somewhere else, and she was like just kept saying all of this stuff, and I was like, "Shut up." And so then I was like, "Ma," she said, I just kept saying, "Ma, I don't like it. Like I don't like it." Talking about the contractions. So she said then when she came back in, they didn't let anybody stay in when I had got the epidural. So when they came back in, she said, I just was like, "Ma, I like epidurals." So then between 10:30 and 11, they came back to check me, and I was still 3 centimeters. So they started the pitocin, just to kickstart. Well, not kickstart because I was like already in labor, but just to like speed things up. Um, they started me off at 1 drip, and that was at 2. At 2:25, they started me at 3 drips, because I could feel the contractions with the epidural, not like painful, but I could feel it. And always says now at 225 at 3 drips, I can feel the contractions with the epidural, waiting to be checked again. And that's PM, because mind you, I went in at AM. So I had already been there for a while. Then at 4:20 p.m., they came back and checked me, and I was 7 centimeters. Then at 6:30 p.m., they came back to check me, and my water broke, because in between then he told me the next time that they checked me, if my water hadn't already broke, that they would just go ahead and rupture it. But that's when they stick that like that sharp thing into you. So I was like, I didn't want that, so I was just hoping it break on its own. But when he came back to check me, it broke, like it was sitting right there, and it just broke while he was trying to see how far dilated I was. And I actually went back to 6 centimeters, because the my the water was sitting, like putting pressure on it to make it like I was 7 centimeters, but I was in all actuality I was 6 centimeters. So at 8:50 he came back, and I was 8 centimeters. And yeah, he started talking about C-section. So I'm like, I'm not getting a C-section. So he was like, I'm just saying about the risk and the chances. And I was like, it's no chance. Like, I'm not getting a C-section. Like, it's just not going to happen. There's no reason for me to get a C-section. I'm progressing, because mind you, I just came from, I guess he felt like I came from 7 to 8, but I really came from 6 to 8. So that was a progress. And I was like, I'm not getting a C-section. So yeah. And I was like, you might as well just wait to check me again. So then I was on 11 drops an hour of Pitocin. My pain level was at 1. And that was checked by the doctor who was actually going to deliver me. So my family was plotting on that, because at 6 I was 6 centimeters, at 8 I was 8 centimeters. So they was like, at 11 I'll be 11 centimeters, which is impossible. But that's what they wrote. So I mean, at 10 I'll be 10 centimeters is what they was what they were saying. So then at 11:10 p.m. I was basically 10 centimeters and 10% of phase. But in between then, he checked me again, I was 9 centimeters. Then he started talking about a C-section again. And I was like, no, like I'm really not getting a C-section. Like, why do you keep saying it? So then he came back to check me a little while, and I was 9.5 centimeters. But so early in the day, everybody was already there, like early. If this video gets too long, I might have to make another one. But everybody was there so early, like right before I even got into active labor and everything. My whole family was basically there, like my goddad, my godmom, my twin, my husband, my mom. Everybody was there. So I I wasn't really getting any rest. Whereas though if I would have rested in the first part and was woke in the last part, it would have been better. But I couldn't stay up. My mom was like, I just kept saying, "Ma, am I woke?" Because she was trying to keep me woke. And I was like, "Ma, am I woke?" Like I was just trying to stay up, but I couldn't stay up. I was just so tired. And so she so she kept trying to wake me up. So around 11, I was 100% of phase, and station was 0, and I was at 9 drips an hour. This is when they started taking the Pitocin back. My pain level was at an 8, and I was checked by my regular doctor again. So at 11:25, I was at 7 drops. At 12:02 is when I was at 9.5 centimeters. So so I just set up. They just came in there and woke me up like really good and set me up on the bed, like put the back of the bed up, and they was like, that'll put more pressure on it and she'll be ready to come. So after I set up, they came and checked me one last time, and I was 10 centimeters. So he was like, give me a practice push so I can see if her head is right there. So I like kind of pushed, and he said her hip was right there. They could see hair and stuff. So I was like getting excited. And I'm like, Mom, what's going on? Because I'm like still halfway asleep. And she like, you about to push. So then they prepped the table and stuff, and I basically started pushing. I started pushing at 12:53, and I started pushing at 12:53, and oh, that was a good one, baby. And yeah, so Then I gave like 3 pushes and they basically stopped counting. So I'm like, why are they not counting? Because at first I was going like on the contractions. So everybody was like talking and communicating. And I'm looking around like, why is nobody watching this machine so they can send me to push? So by this time I'm just like ready to get her out because I'm woke now. And I'm like, okay, come on. So they was telling me like, just go ahead and push whenever you're ready. So I just started pushing. I just was counting in my head. And then the nurse started trying to like when I was already like at 5, she started trying to count, start from 1. I was like, like I'm like, you messing up my count or whatever. So I was pushing for 29 minutes, and half of that time was actually waiting for contractions. So once I got to the point where so I could just push on my own, I just pushed her right out. She came right out. She was born at 1:19 a.m. Oh, I already told you that. And she was 8 pounds, 1 ounce, 20 inches long, and her head circumference was 35 centimeters. So, and then I started breastfeeding at 1:42. She latched on between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. Um, and I think that was the same day, but later on, because she didn't latch on like right after she was born. She didn't latch on, but she finally latched on around 5 or 6:30, and yeah, so and she has. They say she has 2 birthmarks on her back. I haven't seen them yet, but that's what they said. And yeah, she got her first bath and stuff, and she didn't even cry. When she came out, and I was like, "That's my baby," and my mom was like, "Yeah, that's your baby." And then and when she was coming out, when they told me they could see the heat, I was like, "Is she chocolate?" And my mom just looking at me. I'm like, "Why is she looking at me like that?" And but the whole time she was scared to tell me that she was actually a red baby because I wanted her to be chocolate. So then when she finally came all the way out, I was like, "That's my baby," and everybody was like, "Yeah, that's your baby. You just pushed her out." And so she was like, yeah, and I was like, why is she not crying? And my mom was like, she trying to, she just can't get it out. So yeah, my husband cut the cord and stuff, and while I was pushing, when they first told me they could see the head, I wanted to see, so they put the mirror right there. My husband didn't want to see at first, but he saw eventually once he went to go cut the cord and stuff. So yeah, my labor and delivery was basically 21 hours because it was 3 hours before the marker when I first started having contractions. So but it didn't seem that long and it wasn't hard. I was just basically tired, and that's basically what made it longer than what it had to be. And this is my baby with the hiccups. Hold up. And this is her. Say hi, baby. She looks like her dad. And she just woke up, so nothing is funny to her. But this is my baby. This is that face that she make that face like her dad. And I'll be doing her 1 week update because we already did her that first day doctor's appointment was the next day after we was released. And yeah, so I got a pump. So I'll make her 1 week update, and I'll probably do my 1 week postpartum along with her 1 week update, and maybe tomorrow because she turned 1 week tomorrow. Yeah, so see you guys next time.